Now, let's move on to the first of the three roundtable discussions, starting with a full range of real customer issues, from the lack of financial awareness to predatory lending. Please welcome our moderator, Mr. Vince Rapisura, the president and founder of SEDPI, the Social Enterprise Development Partnerships, Inc., the Philippines' premier capacity builder in the fields of microfinance, social entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. Vince, all yours.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Finovation's first roundtable discussion entitled From Rejected to Accepted Consumer Insights. My name is Vince Rapisura, and I'll be your moderator. But before we move into the panel discussion, eCompareMo actually prepared a video for us to set the tone for the discussion. So let's watch this.
So ayun, this was my first photo. Mukhang amateur, pero proud ako dyan. Hindi naman sa pagmamayabang, pero phone lang gamit ko na. After college, napilitan ako mag-telemarketing. Pays well naman. Brutal nga lang yung hours. Taking portraits for me is special. Gusto ko man gawin siya professionally. Kailangan ko ng tools din. Kaya slowly nag-iipon ako para sa camera body. Pero mahal talaga. Di pa kasama yung lenses doon. Sa paningin ng bangko, yung pagiging telemarketer is not a stable job. So madalas yung loans ko talaga is nade-decline. No? May mga bills na kailangan bayaran para sa pamilya and dreams have to wait talaga siguro.
My friends say I'm compulsive na daw. Sometimes when I see a new bag, I just have to have it. I try to get loans as well kasi limited edition na by the time ma-afford ko. Maaga ko na nabibili pero panibagong problema naman. Almost na doble ang binabayaran ko sa interest. Madali kong nakahiram pero you know, ang hirap bayaran.
Binuksan po namin yung store 1989. Sumapat naman po sa aming mag-asawa. Napagtapos nga po namin si Junior at si May. Kilala po kami dito dati. Basta sabihin nyo lang po yung pangalang Aling Hedy at Mang Dado. Gusto ko nga pong nagbabantay ng tindahan dati kasi maraming nakakakwentuhan. Kasi po, simula nung nagbukas yung mall sa labasan, konti na lang yung dumadaan. Naisip po namin mag-expand pa. Nag-try po kaming lumapit sa bangko para sa karagdagan na kapital. Pero hindi daw po sapat yung kita namin eh. Hindi naman nawawala ng pag-asa. Baka sakali pa rin may tumanggap na iba.
Okay, so that video reflects the challenges of what the typical Filipinos experience on the ground. So I'm happy to introduce to you our distinguished panel who will join me in a meaningful conversation about challenges and obstacles facing financially underserved Filipinos. So first, let me call on from the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, Ms. Pia Tayag. She's the Managing Director of the Center for Learning and Inclusion Advocacy of the BSP. From Asia United Bank, Mags Vasquez Sortida, Head of Cards. From Smart Communications, Mr. Harvey Libarnes, Financial Service Head. From Cashalo, Mr. Hamilton Angluben, the General Manager. And of course, we have the CEO and co-founder of eCompareMo, Ms. Stephanie Chu. Okay, so thank you very much. So we just saw three interesting cases about the challenges in accessing financial services. So one is a telemarketer and an aspiring photographer, let's call him Alvin, who got declined for a loan because of his unstable employment as a telemarketer. The other case, let's call her Christina, is a compulsive buyer who fell prey to predatory loans online. Lastly, we have Aling Hedy and Mang Dado, who would like to grow their sari-sari store but got declined in their bank loan application. So the common denominator for the video, for the case studies actually is about loans. But when we talk about financial inclusion, are we really just talking about loans? So let me ask the BSP, Ms. Pia, how does the BSP define financial inclusion?
Thank you, Vince. First of all, I think the governor presented how we are approaching this innovation to not just promote financial inclusion, but really the efficiency of the financial system in general. To your question on financial inclusion, you are right. We have an official definition, and this is also accepted by our national strategy for financial inclusion. It's effective access to a broad range of financial services by all. And here I really emphasize effective access, because this does not just require, you know, having a bank there, having a financial service provider there, but that they are actually, you know, that people actually go there and access their services and use it for their benefit. So having a loan, but then if it doesn't really improve, you know, or address your financial objectives, then that's not what we call effective access.
Okay.
And it's by all segments of the economy, as well as each individual.
Yeah,
so
so
it's quite a big objective.
So from top to bottom, no? But can you tell us more about the key areas of your strategy map for a more financially inclusive financial system?
Okay. So I'll anchor on the presentation that you said, no, the 3 videos. I think these highlight some important elements of why we are doing what we are doing. So as for the Bangko Sentral, our concern is really to promote, as we heard the governor, an enabling policy and regulatory environment. And this might seem motherhood. It might seem like, you know, it's too broad, but I'd like to actually show you some tangible results or benefits of this. First of all, the approach of the BSP to be open and flexible and to innovations in the market is key. There are some regulators that if it looks different than what we are used to or what we are comfortable with, will immediately say, sorry, you cannot do that. But with the Bangko Sentral, the test and learn approach, as discussed, was started way back in the 2000s when the first mobile money operators were here. So that kind of thinking that the market really develops new things and regulators must keep pace, that kind of attitude is really what is also supporting innovation. And we are also, apart from that openness, also looking at things that could catalyze innovation. So maybe to highlight 3 things in the digital space that we've put forward that address some of the barriers why some of these innovations cannot take place. So first of all, we issued just very recently, and I'll say just circulars in the last 2 years, the basic deposit account. So this addresses the main barrier why people don't access basic savings account. The fees, the proximity to the bank, the documentary requirements. So we said, okay, a basic deposit account is something that has no dormancy, 100 pesos and below you can open, no other charges. And for the bank, this might be too costly, so we said, okay, an exemption on the reserve requirements. But then there's an account, but they can't go to the bank. So we've actually also, just in the last 2 years, issued regulations on cash agents, allowing the banks to use third parties, pharmacies, you know, small groceries, to act on behalf of the banks, to open accounts, to service these accounts. And then what the governor said, the national retail payment system. We want the people to see the value of an account. So while, you know, 9 out of 10 Filipinos make payments, and so it's a need that they do. So if you can do that through your account, enabled by an interoperable retail payment system, then you have the incentive to open that account. So these are examples of regulations that we've put in place for the market to develop solutions around this to address the very barriers of financial inclusion. So that's one aspect, the enabling environment, the proactive policies. And the next one is that innovations won't take off without the trust and certainty from the public. So one of our you know, our 2-pronged approach here is ensuring a consumer protection framework to make sure that the customers know what products they're accessing, and also a financial education component to make sure that they benefit from the financial services that they access. So those are the three areas that we are working on this.
Okay, so thank you very much.